It's official, guys. Bakkt is going to launch in September. Will this announcement of an announcement of an announcement of meme hopium send Bitcoin back to all-time highs? Or are we doomed to drop back down below 10,000 for the last time? Because the expert said that the last time we dropped under 10,000 would be the last time, and yet it happened again. So will we see another last time? If that wasn't confusing enough, I'm going to do some TA today. Stay tuned. Welcome to BitBoy Crypto, your one-stop shop for Bitcoin and crypto news. Don't forget to like and comment on this video for your chance to win $1,000 in crypto and prizes. Also, you got to be a subscriber to win. So, okay, guys, we're going to be looking at some of the major stories over the last few days. You can call this the weekend report, the weekend crypto report. So, okay, guys, first let's look at the price. We've got Bitcoin dominance coming in at 68.6%. That feels like the most important number we should be watching right now. Market cap has taken quite a hit, down to $271 billion. It was over 300 billion for a little bit of time. Bitcoin coming in at $10,418. So let's look at the biggest winners of the day. We got Hypercash, Rift Token, Qtum, Verge, and Beam. What was that? Beam in the top 100 now? Look at that. Beam coming in at number 95. That's interesting. Biggest losers of the day, Lisk, Japan Content Network, continues to just be a pump and dump coin from the looks of it. Speaking of scam coins, Bytecoin coming in next, Aurora, and V Systems. So, okay, guys, let's look at the heat map here. You'll see everything pretty much coming in green. XRP having a great day, up 6%. Litecoin up 4%, also doing pretty well. A lot of 3-4% altcoin gainers. You know, that is because we're seeing the Bitcoin dominance drop a little bit, which is definitely good. So, okay, guys, here we go. I lied. I'm not going to really do TA, but we're going to look at some charts here because I really just wanted to show you guys this. Like, here's the thing. It seems like we had a lot of good news over the last few days, but with all that being said, we also had the price dropping. Now, we're going to look at why the price dropped. Some of you guys may have heard this story about this Ponzi scheme. We're going to look at that here in just a second, but I just want to show you guys this 1 week chart. This is, of course, I've got the market cipher indicator on here. You guys can check out my interview with CryptoFace about market cipher. I would really encourage you guys to watch the video, watch what we talk about with Market Cipher. I'm not selling it. I'm not shilling it. I'm not making any money on it aside from making trades myself. But this is a very interesting chart. And I think it's a really good way if you don't know anything about TA, it can kind of, by watching the indicators and signals this gives, you can kind of start to learn it a little bit. But this is the 1 week chart here. And you go back to this green dot right here, as you guys can see. That is when Market Cipher said the market was turning bullish, and then, you know, look where we've been ever since then. So I think we get a little caught up in the daily chart and thinking about like, oh, Bitcoin dropped $2,000 this week or $1,500 this week, whatever. And all of a sudden people are saying, oh, we're back to the bear market, back to bear market. Like, that's the things people say. But when you look at this 1 week chart, I mean, if we were to go back to just April, if we were to just go back to April, I mean, look at the chart, guys. We're still on the way up. Like, this definitely does not, it represents a little bit of a dip here, but this does not seem like a bear trend to me. It definitely still seems like we're heading in the right direction. I mean, look at this weekly loss here. Like, it's barely a loss. So in my opinion, I do think we're still going up. I think we could see 12,000 by the end of next week based on some news that we got regarding Bakkt that we will look at right now. Why don't we? So we're going to look at Bakkt right now. So the great Bitcoin hopium is here. As always, you can find our stories on bitboycrypto.com. I'm in the process of kind of changing the strategy with the website a little bit. Haven't been posting as many articles, but there is a reason for that. So on September 23rd, Bakkt is finally going to happen. They're going to merge institutional infrastructure to digital assets with an end-to-end regulated marketplace. Definitely going to be a lot of, hopium with this, because people talk about institutional FOMO. This is what they're talking about, right? They're talking about where institutions are able to invest, whether it's through an ETF, which we don't have yet, of course, or whether it's through custody services or any number of things, Bitcoin futures. That's the way that institutional investors like to get in and get their hands dirty. So, of course, we've been hearing about this ever since last year in December. It was supposed to launch. First, actually, it was supposed to launch in November. Then they set a soft launch date for December. Then they moved it up to, I believe it was January. Then they pulled the application for Bakkt and said, you know what, we'll wait as long as it takes. And now we are finally in August, and they did a soft launch, an internal soft launch. It went well. So now September 23rd is the date where you can actually buy Bitcoin futures contracts that are physically backed with Bitcoin, which basically means that you have to settle them in Bitcoin. Therefore, you have to own Bitcoin, as opposed to the futures contracts we saw before that were backed in US dollars, and there was no incentive for people to hold Bitcoin and things like that. So, this is going to be something that I think is going to push the market forward. Now, is it the right kind of market that we want if you're for decentralization and wealth redistribution and all these things? Probably not. The rich people are going to get richer through this. However, it is going to have some side effects on Bitcoin, make the Bitcoin price go up, I believe. And I think that this is one of those kind of news stories where we got the story on, I believe, Friday. And then the price went up a little bit after we've been on a big dip, and then the price went back down. And now it's just really kind of stayed in sideways action for the last few days. So what do I think this is going to have? What kind of effect is this going to have on Bitcoin over the next couple of weeks? I think we're going to see some lag. Like we saw the story, and now it's going to take a few days for people to start getting excited about it, for institutions to kind of start lining things up. But we also could see, I believe that this will probably push the price up just for the excitement of this launching. There is also a chance that this might be the last chance for the institutions to push the price down so they can accumulate. So who knows? We could have a big dip. We could go down to 7,000, 8,000 just because a lot of these institutions that are going to want to be investing in Bakkt and all of the services they offer are going to want to get the price of Bitcoin as low as they can before they push it back up. However, I do feel like some people I've watched, some TA people I've been watching lately, some people do believe that we are kind of in a great spot to see the price go up over 12,000. And I lean that way, but I also would not be surprised if we saw the price drop. So, whatever you're doing in trading, just be prepared either way. Because, right, you want to make money whether the price goes up or down. So if you're margin trading, you definitely just want to be prepared for either one of those options. So here we go, guys. The Bitcoin crash this week could be due to this. So a Ponzi scheme. So W1 posted this on Twitter, and then it turned into a huge story. A lot of people saw it. So basically, there was a token called Plus Token, and it was a Ponzi scheme, a huge Chinese Ponzi scheme, scammed 70,000 Bitcoins and 800,000 Ethereum. So once this story really started coming out and people started realizing that this Ponzi scheme in China had totally collapsed. Oh, look, there's 1-1. Oh, hey, 1-1. Anyways, but once this happened, the price started tanking. Now, was it a coincidence? Was it a coincidence that there was a $3 billion Ponzi scheme that came out the day that the price dropped? I don't think it was probably a coincidence. So, a lot of times we look at the charts and we say, oh, you know what? The price went up or the price went down. And we just think it's purely based on bots buying and selling the action that pushes it one way or the other. But that's why I love news, because there are things that affect the price. And I definitely believe that this Plus Token scam did affect the price. I think that had a lot to do with why we dropped a lot further. Now, kind of going on my earlier conspiracy theory about how the institutions and the big whales could be trying to push the money down for one last time in order to accumulate. I mean, I don't know. A lot of times what we see with that is we will see that those whales use some type of news as a cover for their whale dumps. And so this Ponzi scheme that got busted, it could have been that people got scared and wanted to pull out of crypto because of this. But I think more likely what it is that the whales use this Plus Token Ponzi scheme where a lot of people got hurt as kind of camouflage for a whale dump, because the insiders would have known that Bakkt was already set to launch. Because if you think, we got this on Thursday, and then Friday we got the Bakkt news. So I don't know, coincidence on the timing of all this? Most likely, I do not think it is. I think this was camouflage. We see it all the time. So when the market is very volatile, it's easier for them to camouflage. We've had some volatility lately, so it seems to make sense. So one is to cover this story that was actually from last week because it ties together a lot of stuff I've been talking about. UK banks turning the heat up on crypto. So, okay, guys, this is what happened last week. Barclays, the bank in the UK, they severed their relationship with Coinbase. Now, what that allowed Coinbase customers in the UK to do was basically to get their payments faster, get their withdrawals faster. So basically now that the relationship is severed, it's going to be a lot harder and take a lot longer for customers in the UK to get their withdrawals and for their payments to process much faster. If only they had crypto for that. But that was step one. So then we also saw that Clearbank is now the bank that Coinbase is working with. Now, supposedly, I don't think this is confirmed, but supposedly the Zcash removal from Coinbase in the UK had something to do with this new relationship with Clearbank. Most likely, they said, hey, if you guys are going to have these anonymous privacy coins, we can't work with you. And Coinbase was probably scrambling after, the relationship was over with Barclays and kind of probably just had to submit and do whatever they said. And just removing one coin off there probably wasn't that huge of a deal. So that's what we saw with Barclays and Coinbase. Then we had Santander blocking Coinbase customer deposits. So reports today surfaced that Santander Bank in the UK was blocking customers from making deposits to Coinbase. A few hours after the story broke, Santander denied that any legitimate company was getting blocked. And what they basically said is, sometimes they just have people that have to go through extra security checks. Well, that wasn't true. So many people in the UK reported that it was like instantaneous. Like there was one moment when things were fine with Coinbase and the next moment they weren't. However, with other cryptos, they had no problems. With other crypto on-ramps, they had no problems. It was only with Coinbase. Now, if you don't know Santander, the bank, they also have a relationship with Ripple. So, that kind of pollutes things a little bit more. Like, not saying that Ripple would, not want Coinbase to work. They're on Coinbase. What I mean by that is we have a bank that's trying to play both sides. Like, it seems like they're blocking Coinbase, but then working with Ripple. Now, they don't use Ripple's X-Rapid, software or X-Rapid system. They don't use their X-Rapid system. So I don't know. Is Santander kind of souring on crypto? Now, these are things that have happened in the last 2 weeks regarding the UK. So it seems like there's some things going on in the UK that are a little sketch right now. So we had the FCA, the Financial Conduct Authority, say Bitcoin has no intrinsic value and is risky, but that is going to be impossible to regulate. We got HM Revenue and Customs, the tax authority in the UK, saying they requested info from CX.io, eToro, and Coinbase about customer transaction logs. We have talks of a no-deal Brexit from the UK, the European Union, and the rest of the world on edge. So the talk of the no-deal Brexit has got a lot of people kind of nervous about what may happen. Zcash was removed from Coinbase in the UK. Coinbase relationship with Barclays ended, and Santander customers report the bank is blocking deposits. So I don't know. Is the UK souring on crypto? If they remove themselves from the European Union, will we see them maybe be one of the countries to lead the charge in bearishness and trying to figure out a way to ban Bitcoin? It's weird to me that we had this watchdog in the UK say Bitcoin has no value, it's very risky, and yet it's impossible to regulate. And then the weeks following, we've seen all of these stories in the UK. So it feels like something's kind of shifting there. So it's definitely something we're going to have to keep watching and to see what happens, because a lot of people are thinking that Bitcoin is going to be a good hedge against, global market instability. But if we have these countries that are attacking the on-ramps, the fiat on and off ramps for cryptocurrency, like Coinbase, like Monarch, like Binance, then that could have a really negative effect on crypto. And who knows, maybe Bitcoin has to go kind of back under the surface, back to the black market, not to make black market purchases. But if all of a sudden all these on-ramps and off-ramps of fiat are blocked in the UK or anywhere in the world, people are going to have a real hard time buying Bitcoin. It's hard enough for new people to get in. This definitely cannot help. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I got a really cool video coming for you guys tomorrow night. Hope you guys enjoyed this. BitBoy out.